With the release of latest museum buffs, top content creators such as Chiskel, Omni, they've been making videos about Minamoto, should you max him or not. And as someone who experienced the both sides, because if you guys don't know, I have a 5511 Minamoto on my main account, and as you can see, an expertise Minamoto on my jumper account. I know it's weird and I will explain. That is the exact reason why I'm making this video, because expertising Minamoto is very situational, conditional. Now, to understand the reasons, first we need to look at the expertise of Minamoto. Man, I'm not going to even bother trying to pronounce his expertise. Never mind, I will. Kuyohachiryu. This skill simply enhances his first skill. Deals direct damage to the target, 1.4k, gains a 75% chance to deal extra damage per second, damage factor 600 for 2 seconds. Normally, it is 50%, and after you expertise him, it is 75%. Now, technically, mathematically, what this does is only increases your secondary damage by 25%, because instead of 50% chance, now you have 75% chance, so you are increasing your chance by 25%, and this kind of equals increasing the damage by 25%, but you are not increasing the whole damage, the total damage. You're only increasing the extra damage, which is 600 for 2 seconds, 1.2k. So on paper, you are spending all that money to get this extra 300 damage. Is that the case? Of course not. The reason why people max Minamoto is not his expertise, it is his fourth skill, Warlord. The normal attacks of troops led by this commander have 10% chance to increase the damage taken by the target for 30% for 3 seconds, and you can trigger this effect every 5 seconds. The reason why Warlord skill is extremely strong is because it's a debuff. This means when you apply this 30% increased damage taken to your target, every single march, every single player, it doesn't even have to be your marches, every player who hits that march will benefit, and that march will take increased 30% damage from those troops as well. And it's not skill damage, it's not normal attack damage, it is all damage taken. This skill alone creates a huge difference, a night and day difference between a low invested 5111 or 5511 Minamoto versus an expertise. But there is a catch. We need to divide your gaming, your Rise of Kingdoms experience into 2 parts: pre-season of conquest and season of conquest. In pre-SoC, Minamoto is one of the best commanders, hands down. You can get him from day 1. Obviously, free to play, this is not for you. This is if you are spending money. And his single target damage is huge, especially when you max his 4th skill. So you pretty much destroy, demolish everything you touch in the open field. And other than field fighting, of course, thanks to his high skill damage, he is one of the best commanders even in Season of Conquest for PvE events such as Ian's Ballad, Cerolic Crisis, etc. And regardless of your KVK type, again, pre-Season of Conquest or not, he is still the best commander in my opinion to rally Barbarian forts. But of course, PvE events and being the best commander when it comes to rallying Barbarian forts does not justify expertising Minamoto. So we need to discuss what is his main use in Season of Conquest, because when you are playing Rise of Kingdoms, your investments should be long-term. Unless you're an extremely high spender Kraken, you cannot invest commanders for 1 or 2 KVKs. You have to think long-term. When I spend money or in-game resources, sculptures, etc. in a commander, am I going to be able to use him for a very long time or not? This should decide your investments. This is the reason why we say do not invest Genghis Khan, do not invest Edward. Even though they are great in their own KVKs, in Season of Conquest, they are useless. You will bench them, and all those sculptures you have invested on those commanders will be wasted. Now, is this the case with Minamoto in Season of Conquest? Again, because of his Warlord skill, it is not. However, there is a big problem. Recently, I made a recap video on our latest KVK, which was 1365-1534 Mimi versus 1960 and 1093. And we talked about this specific thing in that video, but the main reason why we managed to win that KVK was because our super strong swarm marches. We were able to swarm the structures very well. And Minamoto, because of his Warlord skill, increasing damage taken by the target, doesn't matter who hits it, 30% for 3 seconds is a great skill to swarm structures because everybody will benefit from that debuff. However, if you guys don't know, there is a rule about swarming structures. Let's say we are swarming this flag. Even if I had a Minamoto expertise on my 1093 account, I still wouldn't swarm this flag. Because the rule is, only 10 marches can hit a flag at the same time, can swarm a flag at the same time. This means as a player who doesn't have max Season of Conquest Crystal Technology or max VIP, because VIP 17 gives us all damage 5%. What I'm doing is, because of that maximum 10 marches rule, I'm preventing another player who spends a lot more, who has max Crystal Tech, who has VIP 17, hitting this flag. Just because I'm also hitting this flag and there is a 10 marches rule. And that's why even if you have an expertise Minamoto, but if you are not spending high enough in Season of Conquest, or you don't have max Crystal Technology, and if you are in an Imperium competitive kingdom, most likely your leadership will tell you to not to swarm that flag, pull out your march so that someone else with max tech can hit that flag instead of you. So even though this skill, Warlord debuff, is amazing, you may not benefit from this a lot if you're in a top kingdom. If you're not, let's say you are in a B kingdom, C kingdom, and then, of course, if you are going for swarms, you will be one of those players who are going to swarm the flag because you have a max Minamoto, and in lower seed kingdoms, that should be enough. Maybe a good Crystal Tech too, but certainly not max VIP. But we still have a lot of things to consider whether we should invest on Minamoto, expertise, or not. We are going back to pre-Season of Conquest. Now, if you are a low to mid spender, yes, you do have the budget to expertise Minamoto, and as I said at the start of the video, he is one of the best commanders in pre-Season of Conquest. But the problem is, you don't have a good secondary. Your best option is going to be Cao Cao, but as you can see, I only have him at 5111, which is certainly not the best because I don't purchase daily special offers. Purchasing this alone every single day is $150 every month until you max this commander. And even if you get so lucky, got a bunch of Cao Cao sculptures and you expertise him in a short period of time, does it even worth it? Because he is a gold key commander. There it is. So you will get Cao Cao sculptures time to time from pure free-to-play ways with the gold chests. So I cannot justify purchasing daily sculptures, daily chests just for Cao Cao. Now you might say, well, you will have Saladin soon, so you can pair Saladin with Minamoto. That is correct. That is actually a decent pair. But the thing about Saladin, he is a great enabler for your Ethelflaed. And Ethelflaed is actually really good. Her debuffs, her utility, pre-Season of Conquest helps you a lot in the open field. And Saladin is pretty much the best commander to use Ethelflaed as a secondary. You use Saladin primary, 5551, and Ethelflaed expertise. And we will most likely have expertise Ethelflaed for KVK2. So if I use my Saladin for Minamoto, I'm eliminating the chance of using Ethelflaed, and I really want to use her. So when I get Saladin on this account, I even have enough sculptures to get him to 5551 already. When I get my Saladin, I will use Saladin primary and Ethelflaed secondary and keep using Minamoto with Cao Cao. And at that stage, of course, since we are getting sculptures for Cao Cao from the gold keys, he won't be 5111, he will have more skill upgrades, so he will be stronger. But I think you got the idea. Even in pre-Season of Conquest, we don't have a lot of good options for a secondary or even a primary for Minamoto. In Season of Conquest, this was one of the reasons why I expertise my Minamoto, because he is a great temporary commander for pretty much every single cavalry commander. This means, let's say we are in now Season of Conquest and I immediately expertise Nevsky. What I can do is, until I get my Joan of Arc to a usable stage, I can use my Minamoto as a secondary to my Nevsky. Or, let's say my Joan is perfect now, I can pair my Nevsky and Joan, and then what I can do is I can use my Minamoto as a secondary to my XY until I get my William to 5551 to pair with my Xiang Yu. So he is like the perfect replacement, the temporary commander, until you get the desired secondaries for your primary commanders. Just use Minamoto as a secondary to your Nevsky, to your XY, to your Saladin. It doesn't matter. He will perform really, really good, especially with the relic buff. He will have 60% flat stats, which is going to perform really, really well. But here's another problem. Once you get your Nevsky Joan, XY William, and we will have new cavalry commanders soon, so we don't even know. We will keep using XY or William. We will most likely keep using Nevsky and Joan, that's for sure. But the other two, we don't know. These are the only two recommended marches from cavalry at the end game in Season of Conquest. The marches that you should be using, like Guan CPO, Burikawa SG, Nevsky Joan, and XY William for now. And your fifth march just depends on your account. Maybe you have a Max Alexander and Max Charles Martel from the gold keys, you can use that, blah, blah, blah. But basically, two cavalry marches, Nevsky Joan, XY William. Then your Minamoto again becomes more like a PvE commander. You just rally Barbarian Force, maybe use him as a secondary to your XY during events such as Siroli. But this is only relevant if you are not a cavalry main. Maybe you will go for 3 cavalry marches. That is what I'm going to do. So my plan is I will most likely bench FL flat in Season of Conquest. So I will go for now, without new cavalry commanders. We don't know when it's going to be released. Nevsky John, XY William, and Saladin Minamoto. And since this is my plan, I plan to go for 3 cavalry marches. And the second thing is, with this account, I won't be migrating to a top Imperium kingdom. I will most likely stay in lower seeds, and I believe I will be swarming structures regardless of my VIP level or if I have max crystal tech or not, because as I said, I won't be in a top Imperium competitive kingdom because I'm done with it. I decided to go ahead and expertise my Minamoto, and we are still in KVK1. We haven't even started fighting. So I will get absolute maximum value from my Minamoto. I will use him for 3 pre-season of conquest KVKs, which is the period where he is the strongest. And then even in Season of Conquest, I will use him to swarm structures and use him in the open field as my 3rd cavalry march, because you guys know that if you've been following our channel, the plan of this account, we are not going for the absolute best marches because I already have them on my main account. Goan CPO, Burikava SG, Nevsky John, etc. I'm going for pure cavalry, baby. It's going to be fun, but these were the reasons why I have 5511 Minamoto on my main account and an expertise one on my jumper account. And there is a recap of the most live streamed KVK in Rise of Kingdoms history. And in the middle of the video, we discuss why swarming won this KVK for us. I see you on that one. Bye.